Foundation Sense Memory Exercises. Role of the senses. Lee Strasberg reminded us in his classes that all acting takes place in the character's present moment, as well as in the actor's own present moment. This duality must be merged, and can be achieved by activating each of the 5 senses, so that they are receptive to interpreting the reality of your character. It's for this reason that I stress, as Strasberg did, the importance of planting yourself into the now of the situation. In being fully present in the now, Strasberg taught us that an actor was more likely to give a performance full of sensory awareness, and capable of fulfilling William Gillette's concept of the illusion of the first time in acting. Engaging and strengthening the senses builds both your stage presence and the ability to have the audience believe in what you're doing. In each exercise, you do a sense-by-sense exploration of imaginary objects, activities, places, people, and physical realities for approximately 1 hour as described below. Your goal is to experience the inner landscape of your sensory life, arousing your subconscious as an agent of change and the basis for your artistic choices. Strasberg urged his students to adopt a daily habit of asking themselves what sensory experiences they had and then noting down those detailed memories about weather, sounds, people, sights, activities, or food. This increased our power of observation, as well as our ability to share with others unfamiliar with our methods what we had seen, smelled, heard, touched, and tasted. We would also look at one simple object like, say, a matchbox, and using each sense to memorize everything about it, then test our memories to see how much we had remembered, with no detail thought of as irrelevant. Actors are students of humanity, and practicing the exercises will make you more observant and better able to recall, recreate, and invent behaviors for your characters. This will give them the imprint of believability, because their characteristics are forged from first-hand sensory knowledge. A failure to use all the 5 senses diminishes the rich textures of reality. Whether it's because of personal and cultural habits, physical or emotional incapacity, or our fast, digital lifestyle, we are all less reliant on our sensory perceptions than we might be. The exercises are a vehicle for you to consciously stimulate the senses and sharpen the mind by learning to react to imaginary and invisible stimuli. Are you a visually oriented person? Or are you more inclined to respond to sounds or tastes? Do you look at things closely? These are important questions to ask of yourself before you begin the exercises, knowing that the right question becomes an answer. You will notice the changes in your perceptions. Building on Stanislavski's continually evolving system, as well as the illuminating work of his most brilliant student, actor, and director, Yevgeny Vakhtangov, Lee Strasberg designed and taught his own exercises and procedures to give actors a unique language to explore life's complexities through the senses and apply it to their acting. Having an encyclopedic knowledge of theatre history and law, Strasberg existed in an exalted world of ideas and the imagination, and sought to solve the actor's problems through a rigorous training of the mind and body, helping actors turn static behavior into dynamic action. It was Stanislavski who most clearly made the connection between expressiveness and the senses, and he vigorously warned against mechanical empty speech. Stanislavski was a beacon of light and a true inspiration for Strasberg, and they shared a fascination with the mystery of the creative process that fully utilized all of the senses. In Stanislavski's My Life in Art, in the chapter titled The Beginning of My System, he details the emotional circumstances of the time when the idea of the role of the senses became clear to him. Stanislavski describes it as if it were an epiphany. While in Finland, during the summer of 1906, he and the entire company of the Moscow Art Theatre, still reeling from the recent death of their beloved Chekhov, continued to doggedly evaluate their dissatisfaction and anxiety with their work. Stanislavski pondered how the inner truthful content of a role born in his soul and so strong in the beginning becomes weaker, fossilized, imitative, technical, and habitual as the role is repeated over time. Stanislavski said he finally understood that the favorable conditions for the actor to be in a strong creative mood are irrevocably tied to how the actors themselves are feeling that day in their own lives and situations. Aware that even geniuses like Eleonora Duse could not retain the intensity of a creative mood all the time, Stanislavski worked towards strengthening and protecting the conditions for creating and sustaining inspiration, which can no longer be a matter of mere accident, but a matter to be created at the will and order of the actor. Stanislavski recounts that, later in the year, back in Moscow, seeing the performance of a visiting unnamed star of the time, he observed that the actor's creative mood included a freedom of muscles and a strong general concentration. However, this concentration was directed at the world on the stage and not toward the audience, which was more the style at that time. Stanislavski also observed that the actor's concentration did not focus only on what the actor was seeing and hearing as part of the scene, but that he used all of the senses to create the behaviors from which the excellent performance emanated. Taking all of this history into account, Strasberg created the sense memory exercises, which are designed to help actors develop and then use their senses. The foundation sense memory exercises aren't designed to provoke emotional responses that will be dealt with in the advanced sense memory exercises. The foundation sense memory exercises, their sequencing and combinations, were designed and taught by Lee Strasberg to enhance concentration and sensitivity through a sensory approach that stimulates the imagination, eliciting impulses, gestures, and behaviors that feed the creative process rather than a more phony, mechanical imitation of reality. You build a physical and mental discipline with these exercises by engaging your will and senses. The exercises also provide a way to engage the mind and body for extended periods of time by exploring imaginary objects and activities. An engaged mind uses each sense to understand more. As you become rooted in each exercise, you begin to feel the complex beauty of everyday objects, and this understanding will deepen your work and allow the senses to become the gateway for feelings and emotions. When you practice the exercises, your attention is firmly planted, with a Zen-like quality, in each present moment. With commitment and dedication, you can use the exercises to repeatedly evoke feelings and sensations that will infuse your characters and the script with meaning. Each of the sense memory exercises will enable you to provide an effective and imaginary reality through your observations of what you see, smell, hear, touch, and taste. The senses are unequally developed or relied upon by each individual for interpreting and experiencing life, and these exercises will help to make clear which ones are strongest or weakest, as well as which ones you most readily call upon for use. The training requires you to make choices and judgments of what works and what does not. The ultimate test of your use of the senses will be revealed during scene work, where your goal will be to perceive the world of the character by fully utilizing your remembered and imagined sensory and personal experiences. The use of these senses cannot be rushed. Awareness demands time and patience. Strasberg frequently pointed out distinctions between external and internal acting styles, and he preferred the internal way of working, in which an actor recreates and re-experiences an actual, remembered reality, not an imitation. A common misperception of Strasberg and the method is that no importance was given to the significance of the external aspects of the performance. This is not true, as you will learn. The external style of acting was sometimes good, Strasberg told us, embracing a declaiming of the line, acting out the meaning of the word, with the lines in the script being the primary motivator. However, the method's internal approach, which has you rely on the situation, and its subtext in all of its vivid sensory details, and meaning rises and merges to give the lines a richer reality. While an author's words are sacred, it is the actor who must give the force of meaning. Be bold in your use of the sensory exercises, mining your own feelings and sensations to give life to the character. Be inventive while doing the exercises, and seize the opportunity to build qualities that may be new or undeveloped within you. Qualities being sought include empathy, curiosity, courage, daring, self-awareness. While the foundation sense memory exercises are aimed at activating the physical senses, it's natural that emotional responses will come up, perhaps strongly. In the beginning of training, don't work for the emotions or dwell on them. Acknowledge the existence of the emotions and the triggers that evoke them, but don't go with them. Return to your work on the senses. The advanced sense memory exercises are designed for you to stimulate both physical and emotional responses. It is possible and even natural that you can become blocked or lose focus. You may find that even relaxation has not helped you to reconnect with what you're working on. For those situations, Strasberg developed the two previously mentioned procedures known as the abstract, or additional movement, and speaking out. When any self-judging or disorienting habits take hold, you can utilize these techniques to break through and find clear expression. The abstract, or additional movement, enables you to maintain control of your acting instrument and face the reality of the moment, to deal with the problem by physical movement and concentration. The idea of adding this particular movement is to train your mind to obey multiple commands while maintaining your focus. You make a specific movement, the arms go out to the side at shoulder level and the hands and fingers hang loosely and are relaxed, not rigid. You also move the legs one at a time, up and out to the sides. You do this sideways to break the habit of how you usually raise your arms and legs. At the same time, you make the loud sound from the chest, the same sound that you use during relaxation, the deep ha or ah. The sound and movement run counter to what you have been working on in the exercise, and this allows you to break through the obstacle, release the tension associated with it, then return to your exercise. When you break the habit of non-expression by making the sound and movement, you're regaining control. It's liberating both physically and emotionally and strengthens your will. The procedure called speaking out, which deals with problems and obstacles you're experiencing, is used during both the exercises and the scene work. When you speak out, you must say how you feel with a strong voice and then use your will to return to your exercise or scene. By using the abstract movement and speaking out, self-examination and self-reflection will bring about greater awareness. The confessional nature is a declaration and is good for the soul. You have taken conscious, concrete steps to face and eliminate any problems that prevent you from continuing truthfully. Teachers and directors must be observant of non-expressiveness or blocks in actors and direct them to break through with these procedures. In your home study of the exercises, begin by using and grasping real objects to discern sensory qualities. While in class, you will work only with imaginary objects. Each specific exercise has instructions on how to do it, whether it be with eyes open or closed, standing or sitting, and for how long. After completing each exercise, take the time to be aware of which senses generated impulses and behavior that can be of use in your future work. Make a note of it in your journal. In the exercise descriptions and throughout this course, I stress the importance of focusing your awareness on one sense at a time. This creates a thorough, detailed, patient sensory exploration, which may not feel normal to you, but is crucial during the training. The act of slowing down has the added benefit of cultivating graceful movements, which lend themselves to actually feeling and not imitating life. The exercises act as a catalyst for you to discover different sides of your personality and initiate new and original ideas that ultimately lead to thinking like the character. The foundation sense memory exercises we shall consider are: breakfast drink exercise, mirror exercise, sharp taste exercise, sharp smell exercise, 3 pieces of material exercise, taking off and putting on underclothes, shoes and socks exercise, sunshine exercise, sharp pain exercise, sound exercise. The overall sensation exercises include shower and bath overall, extreme heat and extreme cold overall, strong wind overall, drunk overall,